Namaste, shalom, salam, everybody. Satnam, this is Mother Sophia. How are you? As you know, those of you who've been following me for, some of you have been following me for 15 years. Thank you. Anyway, as you know, my spiritual journey brings so much wisdom from within me, from the ancient wisdom from my DNA to you. And my angels guide me, and various other entities are guiding me to bring the truth to you. Now, in this day and age, there is so much misinformation. You know that about fake news. But aside from fake news, there's another type of misinformation which is filtering through to the spiritual ones. Now, those people who've been programming you with fake news, do you think the only avenue that they have is the mainstream media? No, but they're also using spiritual channels to get to you and misinform you. Only the other day I saw somebody put up a post on Facebook, and they're a very spiritual person, saying that the flower of life is actually the fake flower of life, and they were trying to say that this other symbol is the real flower of life. And I was like, come on, dude. Female dude this was. The cells in our body, when you are born, you have one cell, then it becomes two, then it's three. It's the flower of life. So it's in nature. So please don't tell me that that's fake. So you can see how it's infiltrating through people that you trust as spiritual guides. And the only reason they're being misinformed is because they're trusting information outside of themselves. When it comes to me, the information comes to me and my body resonates or it doesn't, and the angels guide me to that. And that's all I'm asking of you. Don't believe me if it resonates, it's the truth, because your body within itself knows the truth. Don't accept it from everybody else. That being said, today, after I stop talking, you are going to see a video that I was watching today from the Gaia channel. And again, on the Gaia channel, there's a lot of really good stuff. But there's a lot of misinformation as well. So I pick up the stuff that I know is real and is the truth, because I am the Logos. I am Isis incarnate, and in my body I hold the true wisdom, and so do you. So this next piece is by a doctor who talks about iron and how important iron is in your diet, and how a lack of iron contributes to things like prostate cancer, breast cancer, and cell death. So having iron in your diet is not only going to increase your longevity, increase your health, but also stop certain diseases from killing you ultimately, because a deficiency in iron kills you. It's also, the lack of iron has also got implications on ADHD and children's intelligence. Anyway, watch the video. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And if you want to subscribe to Gaia, I don't work for them. I have no affiliation for them. Please do, but always know the truth is in you.
It's found in food. It's found in soft drinks. It's used as a fire retardant in many consumer products. We're probably sitting on bromide right now in this couch. Fluoride, as we all know, has been added to the water supply. Fluoride is also found in many pharmaceutical products as a part of their chemical makeup, and as well as bromide is found in many pharmaceutical products. So as our iodine levels have been falling over the last 50 years, according to the government's own National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, we've had this increasing exposure to the toxic halides, and that's caused our body to lose more iodine, because it's called competitive inhibition, where if you get too much of one toxic halide, it'll cause the essential halide to leave the body.
So most people are probably consuming a lot of fluoride, a lot of brominated toxic compounds on a daily basis in high levels and don't even realize it. What about finding iodine in the soil? I mean, is that a good source of iodine? Where can people find iodine in foods?
So you can really find iodine in seafoods. It's not very high in the soil from over-farming and pesticide use, but in seafood. And that's one of the reasons our iodine levels have dropped over the years, because our soils become so deficient of it. But the problem with seafood is if you don't ingest that seafood within a short time period of removing it from the sea, the iodine sublimates off into a gaseous phase and leaves the product.
Big situation that we're dealing with in today's society: infertility, pregnancy. How important is iodine before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and after pregnancy?
Well, iodine has been studied in pregnancy for over 100 years now. It is well known that if pregnant moms are deficient in iodine, that they can have intelligence quotient problems, IQ problems in their babies. And They can have attention problems and a whole host of endocrine problems, from thyroid problems to breast problems to ovarian problems. And so it's crucial for moms to be iodine sufficient before they get pregnant. It's crucial for moms to take iodine while they're pregnant. And it's crucial for moms to take iodine after they're pregnant. Studies have clearly shown that women who are iodine deficient have lower IQ babies compared to women who have enough iodine.
Now, we're dealing with an epidemic of ADD, ADHD, and you've done research on the benefits of taking iodine or utilizing iodine for children, not only for ADHD, not only for ADD, but also for mental stability, brain growth, etc. What do you see in today's society with children and iodine deficiency?
Well, studies have clearly shown in different Western countries that women who are deficient in iodine have significantly higher risk of having ADHD babies and older kids. So their neurologic system won't form normally if they don't have enough iodine. So again, this needs to be taken care of before women become pregnant. And unfortunately, from the government's own studies, again, referring to that Ann Haynes study, nearly 60% of US women of pregnancy age are iodine deficient. Most of them severely iodine deficient.
So when a child is growing, and they're diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, and they're put on Ritalin or they're put on some pharmaceutical medication, they're not addressing the root cause of the situation. They're just addressing the symptoms. And another big epidemic is the hormonal imbalance. So does iodine have an effect on growth hormone for growing adults or growing children, and how is that balanced out, and what have you noticed over the years?
Well, first off, it's known that iodine deficiency can cause cretinism, which is very short individuals with decreased mental abilities. And there are still areas of the world where that occurs, and still areas of the US where that occurs. And as far as the ADHD Ritalin example that you gave goes, I don't think kids are having a Ritalin deficiency epidemic. I think they're having a nutritional and hormonal imbalance problem, and iodine is one of the things that's leading the pack for that.
So how does iodine actually impact the thyroid?
Well, we can't make thyroid hormone without iodine, and all the thyroid hormone molecules have to have iodine atoms attached to them. So when you hear the term T4 or T3, that 4 and 3 means there's 4 iodine atoms attached to thyroglobulin in T4 and 3 iodine atoms attached in T3. So if we don't have enough iodine, the thyroid gland is going to suffer, but all the glands will suffer from that.
Dr. Brownstein, how do you test children that come into your office for iodine?
Well, the best way to test anyone for iodine is urinary testing. And you can do spot testing where you just collect a urine and spot test it if someone's not taking iodine. But once they're taking iodine, the spot testing becomes unreliable, and then there becomes a 24-hour iodine loading test, which has to be done.
You were one of the pioneers with Dr. Abraham in the iodine loading test. Can you give us a little bit of a background on that?
So Dr. Abraham had written a letter to one of the journals that I read that he developed an iodine loading test. And it was a little 2-paragraph letter that he wrote, and I called him from that letter. He became interested in my practice because I was in Michigan in the Goyer Belt, and he asked me if we wanted to do a study together where we could test the urine of a couple hundred patients and see where everybody's iodine levels are. So I flew out to California, I met him, we instantly formed a good friendship, and he taught me how to do the laboratory work, and we started studying together. And about 4 to 6 times a year, I would go to California and work with him. And all the time, I was sending him samples of urine from my patients. And what we found was that, over 90%, it was over 98%, were low in iodine. The vast majority significantly low in iodine. And so it was Dr. Abraham who developed the iodine loading test. I had a little help. I offered him a little help with it, but really that was his idea. And it's really the most functional test for iodine that's out there. And the test is done where you do a first morning urine and get rid of it, and then you take 50 milligrams of iodine for an adult, and then you collect 24 hours of urine after that.